Good afternoon, my Wealth Our Way family. What is going on? It's your man, Big Tank, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform, Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. Well, it's Friday. Thank God we've made it to the end of another week. As I always tell you, though, my week just keeps on going in perpetuity. I get no weekends. It's just all the same thing. But I love that for you guys. You're off work and you're going to take this time to build your own personal wealth, your own personal brand, your own personal lifestyle. You're slaved for the man all week. Now it's time to slave for you and yours. So it's Friday, April 23rd, 2021. I always want to make sure I acknowledge and thank and shout out those of you who are taking the time out right now to be live with us, streaming on Facebook or YouTube. And definitely want to give much love to the Wealth Our Way legions out there that watch this overnight pre-recorded, wherever you can get your 15 minutes in, whether it's in the driveway before you go in the crib to the screaming kids, whether it's under your desk, in the bathroom, wherever you can squeeze 15 minutes of financial literacy in. Please get it with me. Please come to join the family. Well, we've been talking this week, conversation kind of took a life of its own. I wanted to, throw out some gems and jewels and have some conversations centered around speaking similar money languages, because what we see in relationships when they break down, when things just don't seem as good as they did in the courting phase, when they say the honeymoon is over, normally the money soon is over. Oh, shoot. I be making the phrases up. The honeymoon is over. The money soon is over. Some way we're going to make that into something. I don't even know. But speaking of my rapping skills, I hope y'all checked out Real Rap Friday. I broadcasted on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. It's all over the place. Definitely get your minute of jamming in the day with a homemade tune dedicated to financial literacy. I want to wrap this week up. We've been a little bit all over the place talking about this topic. Yesterday, I gave out some free to low cost dating ideas. Today, I want to answer and deal with a subject that one of the true tribe of Wealth Our Way, my brother Arion, my Temple family, brought up about building wealth together in your early 30s. So we were talking about dating. I'm 50 now. We talk about what happens when you get to a certain age and things may fall apart. But let's talk about the building of financial foundations together. You meet Miss Thing, Mr. Thing, y'all see each other, the looks are good, y'all decide to pursue one another. You go out, have a cup of coffee, go for a walk. You done did the proper financial steps during dating. And now you decide you're going to turn two into one. And you want to know the best way to accumulate wealth, what steps you should take to make sure that your beginning builds into a happy, successful end. So with that in mind, I still want to keep the communication open in the chats. You guys keep on, commenting on this topic. I'll address it as it comes through, any ideas you bring up. But here are my thoughts on how you build when you are first starting out. So here's the thing. We gave the example of two people living separately, having their own expenses, having their own rents, possibly their own car notes, possibly their own grocery bills, everything that two people have when they're living independently. And we talked about the concept of now living interdependently. So the first thing that I would say you're going to do is you're going to reduce these expenses. You're going to turn these sets of twos into a set of one. A lot of times when I'm speaking, I always compare financial journeys to weight loss journeys, because, I've done both. I've been, and for those of you who don't know me, I see a lot of the same faces on the live every day, but I don't know who's watching this overnight. So let me, as they say on Clubhouse, reset the room for a minute. I was raised all over Philadelphia. My mom was a single mom. I'm one of three boys. I'm the middle son. I have a little sister who came when I was 13 years of age, and I went to college at 16. So we only lived in the same house for 3 years. So for the longest time, there were three of us. And my mom, she bust her butt to make sure that we had. My great grandmother also lived with us, but we didn't have what you would call money growing up. We were on every form of public assistance there was: food stamps, Medicaid for insurance. I got Pell Grants to go to college. If it was some aid, we got it. And then through the grace of God, I was able to go to school. I made a phenomenal network, as my younger brother always tells me. Because I'm a big guy, I caught some breaks in life. I played football. I was a professional bodyguard. These things happened. And as a result, my life took a high trajectory when it comes to finances. I went from making $31,000 my first year out of college working for Ford Motor Credit Company. I want to say that was 1996 to by 1999, I was getting handed a check for $240,000 from Payne Weber to be recruited from the brokerage firm Smith Barney. So things happened really quickly. And ever since that Smith Barney to Payne Weber transition, financially, things have been pretty good for me until I got divorced in 2016. Between 2014 and 2016, that separation period bankrupt me, literally bankrupt me. I filed bankruptcy in 2015. And unlike the majority of bankruptcies that go smooth and you get them discharged in about 3 months, the state of New Jersey thought it would be cool and fun to challenge my bankruptcy, to tell me I wasn't as poor as I was saying that I was. So my bankruptcy drug out for 2.5 years and got discharged in 2017. And I have rebuilt my financial life over again, back to being a mid six-figure earner, so you're 400 or 500 grand a year again. So I say that to say, like a Drake song. I started from the bottom and now I'm here, but getting from here to here has been like this. I tell you these things to say there's not too much that I hear, experience, see, or talk about financially that I haven't been through. Whether it's me making no money, whether it's me making a good amount of money, or whether it's me working. Some of my clients make $20 million a year. So any spectrum that you guys fall on, I have a level of experience at that spectrum. So that's why I do this broadcast. That's why I talk about the various topics. When I think about starting out as a 27-year-old with my first wife, us trying to build a life together, a lot of the things that we're talking about this week is what I experienced. Figuring out putting two households to one, having kids at an early age, and how we were to build a financial life. So to Ariane's question, what do? You're 30 now. You got two apartments, you consolidated down to one. What are some tips that can help you continue to build wealth from that point? The one thing I would say is I'm a big fan of using your personal capital, your physical capital. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of things that we pay for that we could physically do. There are a lot of things that we think we need to farm out that we can physically do and save a lot of money. Money is supposed to provide convenience. When you have money, you may not cut your own grass anymore. You'll pay somebody else to do it. You may not clean your own house anymore. You pay someone else to do it. When you are building money, these are the very things that you want to save money doing. So although it's cute, although it's fun to go out on dates and things of that nature, once you have decided to be a couple, you have to change your mindset on what dating looks like. Don't lose the romantic element of your life by saying, hey, we're on a budget, we don't date. But definitely change your dating style to something that is beneficial to you guys financially. I did something I think on Monday of this week or late last week about bank accounts that are giving you money to open up the bank account. Why not have Financial Friday or Money Monday in the house where the two of you guys make it a point to spend time over the weekend coming up with ideas that can build the family's finances and sitting down on that chosen day and exchanging those ideas. Always taking an eye toward what benefits the family, the unit better. That's what we talk about when we talk about interdependency. You're not thinking about the I anymore. You're thinking about the we. However, in thinking about the we, you're not making any type of sacrificial choices that if something were to occur, and I'm not just always talking about love going wrong and a breakup happening, somebody could pass away, things of that nature. Making sure that the one that would be left behind or the ones that would be individually apart now can still continue to build on their financial journey. So If you are meeting someone, and I want to talk about this because this is a topic that comes up a lot, one party has a lot of debt, another party does not have a lot of debt. How do you handle that? So if you have someone, and I just got finished counseling somebody on this, the one person went to college for free, the other person had a bunch of student loans, and they wanted to see, how do we address that? Well, if the person was by themselves, they'd have to pay all of their student loans. And if you didn't have any student loans, you'd have this extra capital. What I would say is, you are together now. Now, there's a huge saying that I hear women say more often than men: don't give wife privileges, don't give husband privileges to a man who ain't married you yet. I think that goes both ways, gender aside. I think it also deals with finances just as well as it deals with doing things around the house or with love. So, what I would do in a situation like that is, I would not necessarily call it a contract, but I would lay out rules as to how we are putting money aside to benefit the relationship. Hey, I may take $300 of my income and pay it towards your student loans, because as a union, getting our group debt down is helpful. However, if we break up, this was a loan and you need to repay it. When you do things with the end in mind, I think it rubs people the wrong way because they think you're planning to fail, but you're not planning to fail. If you don't begin with the end in mind, you're failing to plan. And the reality is that everything doesn't always go great. And it's cool for you to rip that plan up after the bills have been paid and y'all have been together for 20 years, because you know what you have now? You have established a process that governs the relationship. Also, one of the key things that I think everyone should be aware of early in relationships, whether you're married or not married, is planning for adverse situations to occur. I was talking to a group, one of my clients, shout out to my man Brandon Copeland, Atlanta Falcons, 30 under 30 Forbes. He had me co-host a class that he holds. He's a professor at University of Pennsylvania, and we were talking about life insurance. And some of the people in the life insurance class were asking questions such as, hey, I'm only late 20s or early 30s. How would I know when it's a good time to buy life insurance? And I tell them the best time to buy life insurance was yesterday, because you're never younger and healthier than you are right now. So get it when you don't think you need it. And with that in mind, when you're in your 30s, it's a perfect time for the two of you guys to sit down and say, hey, let's get some term insurance to cover anything that may go wrong for the two of us. The other thing is health benefits. Now, for most of this conversation, health benefits can only be merged once married. They don't get to be merged just because you're living together unless you have a domestic partnership, and that's a whole set of criteria otherwise. But there are the abilities to change deductibles. There's the ability to reserve. So when we were talking about insurance on this call, I was explaining that all insurance is, no matter what kind of insurance it is the transferring of risk from yourself to another company. So you don't just have to transfer, you don't have only the opportunity to transfer risk from yourself to another company. You can transfer risk from one person to another person. So let's say, for instance, you have a $500 deductible on your auto insurance because you feel comfortable that you have $500 when something goes wrong. If you have a partner now who had the same mindset, they have $500 in case something goes wrong. Together, you have $1,000 if something goes wrong. You may feel more comfortable now raising your deductible to $1,000. And if you raise your deductible from $500 to $1,000, the cost of your insurance goes down. And now that the cost of your insurance goes down, you know what I'm going to say, because Wealth Our Way, we teach the 1-2 punch. We take that savings and we invest it. So now we're growing wealth by doing something that happened only because there's two of us, but we really didn't change anybody's life any from a standpoint of making a sacrifice. We just said the likelihood of having an accident is already low. Between the two of us, both of us having an accident is extremely low. So let's pool our 500s together and say we now have 1,000 ready in case a deductible is needed to be paid. But now our premium may go down 8, 9, 12%, and we can redirect those funds and grow wealth. So those are just a couple of helpful tips. This is a wrap on this topic. We're going to come back next week and talk a little bit about estate planning. I want you guys to have a great weekend. I hope this week was helpful. I love the discussion and the interaction that you guys shared back with me. I'm looking forward to you guys seeing me on Monday and me seeing you and us having a great weekend and enjoying the beautiful weather. I hope it warms up a little bit. April's been a trip weather-wise, but I do want you to know that I love having you here. My name is Charles Tank Harris. The click is Wealth Our Way. And you know we understand and know and believe and promote that wealth is not only for the wealthy. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Take care and have a great weekend.